Many of you are aghast that I said SNL was nothing short of brilliant for inviting Blake and Ryan. I stand behind that because they're about eyeballs. For 50 years, they've been producing a show that gets backlash the day after, that has questionable characters on the show and in the audience. They know exactly what they're doing. Put that to the side, talk about Blake and Ryan. You are all saying that it's disrespectful because of what's at hand, which I validate that. That makes sense. I do not think that they are trying to play to the court of public opinion. It won't hurt them in their case. It's years after the film was shot. So the judge isn't going to be like, oh, you went out to something within your industry. And the reason that they're going out within their industry is not because they're trying to get you to like them. That's never going to happen. That's a sunk cost. That is already done. You're not turning. You guys don't like them, period. They know that. They're there because that's the core of their industry. In that room is like being at the Met Gala, the Vanity Fair party. That room is where decisions get made, roles get booked, relevance is sustained. And they want to look at their peers and be like, we're still here. That's just them. That's just the people. Because you guys also dragged Jennifer Lopez to infinity. And what did she do? She looked hot, she got dressed up, she went out, she pushed through. And there are two people that I can think of that you know of that you guys have also gone after hard on here. And I have personally given them the advice, push through, just push through. There's another actor that said to me that they thought that they were getting canceled, and what do? And I said to them, I told them exactly what to do. So I'm just going to tell you that they went into that room because this week Ari Emanuel, the one who the Entourage Ari was based after, he's one of the top 5 most powerful people in entertainment, and he stood out and said, I'm Team Blake and Ryan. To them that says, oh, okay, we're still here and we're not going anywhere. It may not be entirely true, but they are in that room to solidify their status in Hollywood, not to make people on TikTok and Instagram like them.
Let me start by saying that Bethenny Frankel's take on Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' appearance at the SNL 50th anniversary special, calling it nothing short of genius and marketing brilliance, misses the mark when you consider the bigger picture. She's framing this as a savvy PR move, a masterful way to lean into the storm of controversy surrounding their legal feud with Justin Baldoni. But I'd argue it's not genius. It's a misstep that could undermine their credibility, trivialize serious allegations, and alienate people who are paying attention to the stakes involved. First, let's talk context. Blake Lively is currently embroiled in a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, her It Ends With Us co-star and director, alleging sexual harassment and a retaliatory smear campaign. Baldoni has countersued, accusing Lively and Reynolds of defamation and extortion, among other claims. This isn't some lighthearted Hollywood gossip. It's a messy, high-stakes legal battle with accusations of misconduct and abuse of power flying both ways. The trial's set for March 2026, and both sides are digging in, with subpoenas flying and public statements escalating. So when Blake and Ryan show up at SNL 50, grinning on the red carpet and cracking jokes about the drama, it's not just leaning into the humor, as Frankel puts it. It's a choice that risks making light of something deeply serious. Frankel's argument hinges on this being a marketing win, a way to stay relevant as the epicenter of pop culture. Sure, SNL thrives on topical humor, and having them there fits the show's disruptive vibe. But here's the problem. Ryan's quip during the Q&A with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, "Great, why? What have you heard?" doesn't diffuse the tension or reclaim the narrative. It's a coy wink at a situation involving allegations of sexual harassment and workplace misconduct. That's not genius, it's tone deaf. Imagine if the roles were reversed. If Baldoni had gone on a comedy show and cracked jokes about the lawsuit. The backlash would be immediate and fierce. The double standard here is glaring, and Frankel's brushing past it feels reckless. Second, let's consider the optics. Reports from outlets like TMZ suggest that at the SNL event, Blake and Ryan were the talk of the evening, but not in a good way. Guests were reportedly confused about why they'd show up, and some even avoided them. This wasn't a triumphant return to the spotlight, it was an awkward flex that didn't land. Frankel says they're weathering the storm by going straight through it, but storms like this don't get weathered with a red carpet photo op and a punchline. They get weathered with discretion, accountability, and letting the legal process play out, not by turning a courtroom drama into a sketch comedy bit. Hollywood insiders per Page 6 even noted it wasn't a good look, and Baldoni's legal team might leverage this outing to argue they're not taking the case seriously. That's not a win, it's a liability. Third, Frankel's point about this being smart from a marketing standpoint ignores the human element. She admits not everyone's in the bowels of TikTok reading legal docs, but that's exactly why this move falls flat. Casual fans might see the SNL appearance and think, oh, it's all just drama, no big deal. But for those following closely, especially survivors of harassment or workplace toxicity who see echoes of their own experiences in Lively's claims, it's a slap in the face. It risks normalizing the idea that serious allegations can be laughed off if you've got enough star power. Frankel triples down, saying it's brilliant because SNL loves disruptive people, but there's a difference between disruption and distraction. This felt like the latter. Finally, let's talk about accountability. Blake and Ryan don't have to play the PR game right now. They're not promoting a project tied to this mess. They chose to step out, and that choice sends a message. We're above this. But legal battles like this aren't about being above it. They're about facing it. Frankel's bravo feels like a cheer for privilege, not strategy. If they'd skipped SNL and let their lawyers do the talking, they'd look steady, not shaken. Instead, they gave critics ammo and muddied their own narrative. In short, Bethenny's wrong. This wasn't genius. It was a gamble that might have scored a few headlines but could cost them far more in trust and perception down the line. The real brilliance would have been staying home. She brushed off the backlash, fans slamming the move as insensitive given the serious allegations tied to "It Ends With Us," with a smug, "That's a touching story." From a marketing standpoint, it was smart. Sure, if smart means glossing over domestic violence and assault controversies for a cheap laugh, her nod to Blake's past PR flops like pushing cocktails at a premiere about heavy themes only proves she's out of touch. All of this speculation is a tricky and risky business, she said before slapping a bravo on it like she'd cracked the code. Spoiler, she didn't. Frankel's take isn't brilliant. It's a bloated, self-important misfire from someone who's lost the plot. So what's the verdict on Bethenny Frankel's hot take? It's a hard pass. She's out here calling Blake and Ryan's SNL cameo a marketing win, but let's be real. It's just Bethenny doing what she does best, yelling over everyone to sound like she's got the answers. Newsflash, Frankel, this isn't skinny girl margarita territory. The SNL move might have been a laugh for some, but with a $400 million lawsuit and serious allegations in the mix, her brilliant spin feels more like a desperate grab for relevance. And tripling down after the backlash? Yikes. Stick to reality TV, Bethenny. What do you think? Was she way off base, or is there a shred of truth in her marketing hype? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get a poll going. Team Bethenny or Team Sit This One Out? Smash that like button if you're over her takes, subscribe for more drama breakdowns, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with less Frankel noise.